ab and core exercises that you can complete even if you're a beginner. We start off with the abs. When you think about the abs, I want you to think about your spine. I want you to think about flexion and extension. Here we go. Now we start off on the floor, we're gonna lie on our back. Now the first way we're gonna learn to work our abs is through flexion and extension. Now since we're laying on the floor, our back is already in neutral, so we really don't have to worry much about extension, but we do have to go into flexion to tighten our front, okay, and down. Now the main thing you wanna focus on is getting the upper back and shoulders, head and neck up and off the ground. Pause, down, blow the air out. Up, down, and blow it out. Like I said, head, neck, shoulders, upper back, off the ground, and then down, nice and easy. So if you focus on just starting off in a neutral and then up and flex, you will work your abdomen. Now, if you use something like a Bosu ball to place behind your lower back, then you will be able to go into a little bit more of extension and then go into flexion. So you still focus on flexion and extension. Now, the next exercise that you can do if you're a beginner to work your abs is here. Now, you can start doing things like opposite hand, opposite knee, where you just reach across your body. This is gonna help you target those outer abs, but also help you target the midsection. So this is an overall winner when it comes to working your abs as a beginner, okay? Now, another exercise that you can utilize as a beginner to work your abs is you could go from a prone position where you could go from a plank position or a tall plank position, and then you could do knee raises like this, all right? So if a tall plank is okay with you, mountain climbers are a great option. If you want to do this from a plank position, you could do this from a plank position. Now, we're gonna talk about the plank a little bit later when we get to the version of our core exercises. Now, moving on, I'll give you guys one more exercise to work your abs. If you don't want to move your upper body, then you can do things like leg lifts. So if you take your hands like this, place them underneath your lower back, extend your legs out front, and then pull your knees in, we can then target our lower abs and our hip flexors. All right, this is gonna help slim the waist. You can keep the heels off the ground, or you can let the heels touch the ground and pull them in. To make this exercise a little bit harder, you could actually lift the neck and shoulders off the ground and keep the heels off the ground and pull them in. All right, now moving on to the core. The first thing I want you to learn or think about when you think about your core is you gotta think about your sides, your fronts, and your lower back. Now, first thing I wanna go over is just learning how to draw the belly button down so that we can practice the first variation of bracing your core. Now, bracing your core takes a little bit more time, it's a learning curve, but the first way you can really start to activate is to draw the belly button down towards the floor, okay? So just breathe normally, and then what you wanna do is you can put your hands here, draw your belly button down, and start to just pull your belly button down towards the floor. And you can just hold it, and you'll feel those deep inner core muscles start to get nice and tight, all right? So I'll do it again, just breathe, draw the belly button down. And then what you wanna do as you get better at drawing your belly button down towards the floor, you can then practice on bracing, holding, and breathing at the same time, all right? Now, the first exercise that we go over for the core is just gonna be a bird dog, all right? So I want you to think about moving your limbs, but also being able to brace and breathe. So we're gonna start off here in what we call a quadruped. Now I'm gonna draw my belly button toward my spine, and then I'm gonna reach diagonally just like this, down, and then push it back out. Now, in this particular exercise, you also have to focus on stabilization, all right? So in a lot of my drills that I give my clients, I like to make the client focus on some type of stabilization. Now, that doesn't mean you gotta go standing on a Bosu ball or something like that. In fact, a great exercise is just to start off on a single leg, working hip stability and core, just like this. And you can just work on your balance. Keep the knee as high as you can. I like to say keep the knee higher than the waistband, and then you just gotta balance just like this. You can go 15 seconds, 30 seconds, all the way up to 1 minute. You can put your hands up, and when you're more advanced, you can even go just like this, and you can hold weights overhead. Draw the belly button in toward the spine and hold it. Make sure you work both sides, okay? Now, the most famous exercise that people use when they work their core is a plank or a tall plank. And most people just say, oh, I want to work my abs, so I'm gonna do a plank, all right? Well, the plank, what's so special about the plank is actually a full body exercise. And those who have done planks for 2 to 3 minutes, they know that your entire body starts to burn. So if you start off in a low plank and you tighten your glutes, tighten your belly button, back flat, butt down. You don't want to be piked in the air. I like to turn my palms around so they face the ceiling, and then we're here. I tell my clients, look at your hands, just like this. We don't want to be looking out, and then we just want to hold. Some people put your feet together, that's fine. I like to go shoulder width apart because I can feel the midsection, I can feel my glutes, I can activate everything, and I can get into my plank the right way. Tall plank, same thing. You just want to hold, push away from the ground, and then you just want to hold this position. To make this exercise more advanced, you could do something like shoulder taps, or you could even do alternating leg raise to actually make the exercise more advanced. So when you think about working your core, I want you to think about stabilization. I want you to think about possibly some type of balance. When you think about abs, just think about the fronts. Flexion and extension.